Who are you, handsome fellas?
Hey, so my name is Roy Barton, and me and my wife and my father-in-law, Dennis Ward, we started Dirty Hands Farm back in 2015. We started on a quarter acre, and here we are now with 104 acres of
Wow.
pasture land for cattle, hogs, and chickens.
104
This,
acres. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
nope, my father-in-law, Dennis. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. And I see a lot of single strand polywire on spools behind you there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So,
that is the easiest way to manage. Once they get used to it, it's the easiest way to manage a herd, and they realize what's going on, and they just wait to be moved.
and are they waiting because they know good food's waiting for them? Are they happy about that? Is that what you're seeing?
Absolutely. So, as an example, in this particular paddock that we pulled down into,
Yep.
they just came off of this and they have migrated all the way down to this area down here. But you can see we didn't let them take all of the forage.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't take all of it.
And so why is that? Why do you not want them to take it all?
A couple of reasons. The primary reason is we want the plant to stop the reproduction cycle during its optimal growth phase to drive those roots deeper into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The second reason is we need the ground cover to keep the soil moisture at the temperature that we want it to be at. So right back here, in my gator somewhere is my soil probe.
Yep.
And on a daily basis, we take temperatures of the soil to make sure that it's between 70 and 75 degrees.
And on hot days, does it say that? Does it stay that way between 70 and 75?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what temperature do you see exposed soil getting to, like on a summer day for you guys?
Here in the Panhandle of Florida, we can see upwards of 120 degrees.
Yeah. And to my knowledge, microbes are getting killed at 120 degrees.
Actually, at 110 degrees, the soil's dirt and it's dead. It's inert at that point. Yeah.
And so on your farm, is ground cover like a key indicator for yourselves? Is that something a goal?
Absolutely.
We're transitioning from winter graze into summer.
Right.
On the winter graze down. We can come in with our no-till planter, plant summer graze, and it give a chance to come up. And that's why we have to move the cows around to give that the summer graze time to get up and high enough where the cows can actually eat it, and then we can move around with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The adaptive grazing management requires, the hardest part of it is those spools and the post and mapping it out in a non-prescriptive manner.
So it's not the same every year. It's not the same all the time. It's always different.
It's not the same 27 days from now.
Right.
It's just not. Maybe they come back in 27 days. Maybe they come back in 365 days.
Right.
But it's never the same pattern or the same paddock. It's never the same. And this paddock right here has not had fertilized lime, anything on it in the last 4 years. But look, you don't find stuff like this in Florida without fertilizer, without lime, without pest control. We don't use any of that.
So are you not using it because you don't think it's good to use? Are you not using it because you don't need to? Is it saving you money not having to use it? Are you losing productivity by not using it?
So when I read Dirt to Soil by Gabe Brown, I turned everything off.
I see.
Turned off everything industrial, agricultural, period. And when I met Gabe Brown and actually got to have a conversation with him, it reinforced the fact that we don't need those synthetic inputs. What we need to do is treat the ground the way nature would have treated the ground well before Europeans settled in this country. That's because the Native Americans allowed nature to be nature. The unfortunate fact is now we're bound by fence laws, right? We got all these fences. So we have to mimic nature with fence laws.
Yeah.
And
so you've got your perimeter fence you have to have.
Yes.
Right.
And you're sort of married to the land that you have the deed for, or you're leasing or owning. But within that is where you can emulate the small paddocks and the moves and things like that.
Yeah.
Right. We can move them around. And then we follow, if you over here to the left is our chickens.
Okay.
And they come in and clean up what's left of the cow poop or whatever. They scratch it into the ground and it goes away.
Yeah.
Now you're saying they're scratching into the ground, but they're also eating a lot of flies and larvae and things like that, are they not?
Correct.
So our place is small enough that the chickens can be centralized. So on that 3-day hatch cycle of the fly larvae, they're close enough, they're going to take care of it.
So you're breaking that cycle of, so do you see less flies in this method than you did before?
Absolutely. A lot less.
All right. So for context, old man, young man. Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna sit there and take that, mister?
Well, I'll let him go with this route for a little bit.
Okay. Wants to kill ants, wants to put on chemicals for flies, right?
Yeah.
After me being the ass and saying stop and watch, right? Stop and watch.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yes. We have seen the result. We have seen the dung beetles coming back. It's springtime. They're coming back. We can see those happening. And that will take care of a lot of the fly problem. And just and let the chickens run. That takes care of a lot of the issues with the pest.
Yeah.
And that's been one of my big things about being the cows bothered by pest. But we have seen a substantial decrease in the amount of pests for our cows. Now next door, I've watched the flies on the cows, and I'm sure some of them migrate here. But for the most part, ours are pretty much pest free.
Wow.
And
that's been a big issue. But
the other consideration is the number of fowl, the number of birds that we have on our property that we don't see on. We have ducks landing here. This past winter, Peter, 5 covey of quail.
Wow.
I've lived on this property since 1991. We used to have quail.
Okay.
They went away. This year, since I was a kid, is the first year we've seen quail on this property.
And do you connect that to your change in grazing methods?
Absolutely. We have 2 coveys now on different sections of this property that have come back. We have built what am I trying to say? Not hedgerows, but bundled up a bunch of trees and stuff, limbs, and built places for the quail to get under.
Okay. So safety areas.
They the quail, and it gives them some place of protection to raise their babies or whatever. And then they can go out and go around the property and eat and get the seed and stuff they need and still have protection from the predators. Yeah, brush piles. That's what I'm thinking of.
Brush piles.
We built brush piles for the quail.
Gotcha.
And just piled up debris from the wintertime, the trees shedding or storm damage, and just pick them up with our tractor and go pile them up and just leave them. And then that helps the wildlife, not just necessarily the quail, but you also have the native birds come in and have a place to nest. And that's been a big plus.
Now, which birds are you seeing, and why is that a plus for y'all? Like, which other birds are you seeing, and why do you like that?
I can't do it here. I'd have to pull up my Marlin app. We've probably documented at least 40 species of fowl on our property, and I didn't know there was a brown-headed cowbird. But we have brown-headed cowbirds on our property. I have never, since 1991, ever seen a brown-headed cowbird anywhere. But they're here, and they come here. Red-headed woodpeckers, blue jays, martins. We have martins all over the place. I mean, annually they come in and take over. We don't have mosquitoes. We don't have any issues with any type of human insects. Like we don't have issues with insects that bother us because the plant and animal life keep it away.
That's awesome.
I don't know that you could measure the benefit, but the benefit is psychological of being able to see nature coming back and just doing what nature intended. And like the quail, they're just here, and that's what we enjoy watching. And like the cowbirds and the martins and just the other birds coming in nesting, and we can be out in the field early in the morning and see them out here picking up the grasshoppers and all those things, and it's just nature. The value that they add to the property, I don't know, but the value they add to human enjoyment, I don't know if you can measure that.
But you're feeling it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I can sit out here in the mornings and just sit and watch, and it's peaceful, and you know you're doing something right. And that's what it's about, is just being in tune with the nature and letting it evolve and just watching.
So let me be the flip side of the coin on that, Skeet. Do we drive the same way to the same place every day?
No, the deal with that is go a different route every time.
You mean on your four-wheeler?
Yeah, when we're out, I get up early in the morning and I go feed up. Well, I drive a different route and I push down whatever growth is out here, and it's just you're not making ruts that shouldn't be there.
Gotcha.
So the impact of the machine is clearly visible,
but it's benefiting.
If we follow the same route, the impact of the machine is clearly visible. If you always follow the same route with the machine.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. You go a different route each time. You never know you were there.
Gotcha.
Because come sunrise and the sun gets up, it all comes back up.
Right.
You don't leave a footprint. And that's what you're looking for.
You're growing No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Peter.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys are growing your forage. Is it in the growing season? Is it going waist high before you graze it, or do you have all over the place?
So this was just grazed.
Right.
To give you context, here's some hairy vetch. here's some peas. If I pull it back up and show you,
Right.
it's still knee high. It's just that the animals
stomped it,
pressed it down.
Yep.
So their impact on the cover was to press it down. If this had been 3 days ago, Peter, it'd be waist high.
Waist high. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how long do you let the animals graze in each paddock, or what's the? I mean, I'm sure it's different, but what's the?
It's a percentage.
Uh-huh.
So, and it also depends on the impact that we want on that particular paddock, right?
Yeah.
So, as we graze across this field, high impact to low impact.
Okay.
Because we want to study each individual paddock and understand how that allows the recovery of those plants. But here in the South, most of these plants are going to start dying off because our temperatures are going to go up. So we bring them back in, we let them mow it down shorter, then we plant in it, and then take them off and wait for it to come back waist high.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it's not an exact science, just like in the words of Dr. Alan Williams.
Yep.
It's not a prescription. We're not writing a prescription. We're not doing the same thing. So maybe they graze perpendicular one time, but they graze parallel the next time.
Right.
And maybe it's 10 foot wide and 600 feet long.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it's 40 foot wide and 600 foot long. It all depends on the amount of impact that I want our cows to put on that particular portion of the ground.
Now, do you all sell direct to customers, or do you?
Yes.
What do you do with? So tell us about that. What's the name of your company and what's the website?
So dirtyhandsfarm.com. We sell direct to consumer in our local region.
Okay.
I would love to advertise elsewhere, but I won't, because there are the Paul Browns, there's the Alan Williams, there's the Brian Downings of the world that are producing beef or pork in their local areas, and I want customers in those areas to go to those people.
Gotcha.
But in the Panhandle of Florida, we raise Florida cracker cows and Piney Woods cows. They're not vaccinated. If they need an antibiotic because of whatever odd reason, we pull that one off the line. We eat it at our house. We don't sell it.
Got it.
Don't sell it. But Dirty Hands Farm, and we own Lytle Bay Meat Company, where we have you don't know this, we bought a processing plant since the last time I talked to you.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. We process beef, pork, sheep, goat, whatever they bring in, I'll process it. Don't care. But our cows, you can see them out there. Piney Woods and crackers being Piney Woods and crackers.
Piney Woods and crackers. Now, how far are you from St. George Island, where we like to go in the summertime?
Where's St. George?
South of Tallahassee.
It's near Apalachicola.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Got it. And are you sort of north and east of that?
North and west.
North and west.
Oh, okay. So how are you near I-10? Or are you not too?
We're about 20 miles north of I-10.
Okay.
At exit 85.
Okay. So you're west of where I-27, I mean, where US 27 goes up to Will Harris's place, you guys are west of that.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Got it. So did Hurricane Michael, when it was messing up Mexico Beach, was it messing up you guys too?
No.
Got it.
We were fine.
Yeah, it went east of us.
Got it.
So
I got you.
Will's place is 2 hours from right here.
Gotcha. Okay, I know where you're at.
Yeah.
Maybe we can come pay a visit when we're in that neck of the woods.
Well,
Absolutely.
Well, I would love to get a screening.
Oh yeah.
In my alumni high school.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I guess want to do it in the fall just because we're close to end of school now.
Sure.
Let's do it. If I'll hook you up with my wife Krishna and she sets all that up. We'll just make that happen.
Yeah. And I'm so honored. I don't deserve this.
What are you talking about?
I'm just a regular dude, just trying to do regular dude things, okay? And so the other piece of this that maybe folks wouldn't understand, and I hope it makes it into the content. The other piece of this, my best friend was 86 years old when he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
To the day that he passed away, he was learning. And for the last 5 years on his farm, he never dropped an ounce of fertilizer. He never dropped an ounce of lime. He studied deer plot mixes. He studied different types of grasses and grass species to improve the ground, to improve the soil, to reduce the amount of moisture because he had really wet land. He studied that. He studied that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that taught me that what we're doing is never good enough.
Okay. Yep.
And there's always a better way to do things. So never be satisfied with what you're doing.
Right.
Always look for the new thing. The reason I raise cracker cows, the reason I raise Piney Woods cows, they're half the size. They consume half the food. They're indigenous to this region. They're parasite resistant. And because they're used to this place, they manage it in the way that it should be managed because they've been here since 1521. Mm-hmm. So all I have to do as a producer is move them in a non-prescriptive manner to improve the property.
Yeah.
The cows take care of the rest. And if it wasn't for an old man who didn't settle for what his dad did and what his granddad did, I would probably be doing the same thing that every other industrial farmer does, which is fertilize, lime,
disc.
How many times have I told you to get rid of the disc?
Several. We're done with them. They're gone.
Yeah, they're done. Right?
That's a big move, right? It's a big move.
Listen, my wife can't listen to me and him have a conversation because I'm right and he's right. And in the middle is the truth.
That's a pretty good way of putting it, my friend.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, this is awesome. I'm so glad we got the chance to visit, and it's not my favorite thing that it's remote, but it's better than nothing.
Well, if you and your wife want to come visit, we have a spare bedroom.
Thank you.
Room.
and they have a spare bedroom.
Yep.
And look, maybe this makes it in the content, maybe it doesn't. But right out here somewhere, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Snow peas. Do you know what the plant tastes like?
It's probably pretty
Snow
sweet.
peas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there's nowhere out here we can't dig and not find earthworms.
Right. Yeah, it's thriving.
That didn't happen when we moved in here.
No. It's getting back to nature how it should be, and just working with nature and letting it evolve and following nature, and it will do the right thing. All you have to do is pay attention, and that's the way it is.
That sounds great, man. What a great way to end this conversation and something that sweet.
Yep.
Thank you,
Well,
gentlemen.
hey,
yep.
Thank you. And if whoever runs your social media page, I would love to add this, whatever excerpts they have. I'd love to add it to our content.
That's how we found you. So yeah, absolutely.
I know. I know because that was the only video that I had that hit 120,000 likes or whatever.
After we shared it, you mean?
No, I stitched your video.
Oh, that's right.
I stitched it, and it went viral.
And that's how Maddie, our social media co-director, that's how she found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, she liked I reposted one of y'all's videos, and she's because
she's awesome. They're awesome. So yeah, we'll definitely be wanting to collaborate with you on the whole thing when we start putting this stuff up.
Please. Back in February, I went and taught 2 regenerative farming classes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, under the premise of Soil Health Academy and Understanding Ag, I reached out to Gabe and Alan Williams, and they're like, "Yeah, use our content, just give us credit." And I dug up samples from my farm and brought them out there, and the people that showed up, just mind blown.
That's what I'm talking about. Farmers are smart. They just got to show them what's what. They get it.
That's true.
Well, but they also have to get past the heritage of what they've been taught.
Yep.
And that's the hardest part. I don't have a heritage in farming at all. I have a heritage in a man that taught me to think differently than everyone else. And I could see in my best friend's pastures every year over year, up until he died, he had the greenest, fullest farm in 100 miles of this place, with no chemicals, with no fertilizers, with nothing other than him studying the plant biology to put in the ground. That says it all.
Sure does. What was his name?
Ronald Frank Prokop was, please don't make me cry, was my best friend's name. He was my fire chief. He was kind of my pseudo dad. My dad birthed me with common sense, but he taught me how to apply that common sense. And you done got me there. you done got me there. Yeah. He's the reason I found Gabe Brown. And he's the reason that I was bold enough to send Gabe Brown an email with my phone number. And Gabe Brown picked up the phone and called me one day.
There you go.
So
let's share this knowledge, man. Let's share this knowledge.
Oh, every day, every customer that walks through my processing plant, when they want a pig, if they want beef, I will spend an hour describing what I do to every single customer so they understand that this with the cows is what they need to eat and not the processed grain and everything else. It's hard for him to believe. It's hard for my wife to believe. But what I know to be true is the nature that is this is what feeds my cattle to give them the nutrient density that doesn't exist in industrialized beef, pork, or chicken.
Yeah.
This comes from the earth. Everything else comes from man. And man doesn't do it right.
Nature's got 3.2 billion years of R&D as far as I can tell. Let's use that.
Healthy soil, healthy plants, healthy body.
Well,
boom.
We'll have to slightly disagree. I think there's only 8,000 years in that, but
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's that. I'm okay with that disagreement. I am all okay with that.
Yeah. So Peter, thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you
a lot.
I never imagined ever getting to do anything like this. So I'm just a regular guy. He's just a regular guy. Me and him fight a lot about what we're supposed to do out here.
Yeah.
But I never imagined an opportunity to share what our farm does on this scale. And I am indebted to you.
Oh, man. I'm indebted
Absolutely.
to you, brother.
And you and your wife have a place to stay when you get up this way.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, and I'm the cook.
Thank you.
I cook.
I was just thinking about what we're going to eat because I got 2 boys with me too, and one of them's 15 and he eats a lot. So,
well, bring them.